Ba-bum. Ba-bum. Oh, that's loud. Ooh, that's loud. Yeah, we keep it there. We'll keep it there. Griffu, Desmondu, Tuekaru, Stabberu. Let's fucking go. Right. I hope you all had a good weekend. Oh. But now it's 3. So it's time to get her some chi. My spina knows its timer. How's the parrot? Oh, it's stuck. The goo has fastened the parrot. There we go. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Tickling the bottom of your spina. Letting you know that it is indeed timer. It is a timer to get the goo flowing. Pardon me while I squirt on the parrot. Squirting on the parrot is very important. Gets the goo flowing. Time for the fanfrex. Where's my thingy? Peinteingu! Peinteingu. Peinteingu. It's Peinteingu. Are you aware? Peinteingu. Peinteingu. Painting you. It's Peinteingu. Painting you. Painting me. It's Peinteingu. Let's fucking go. Painting you. Painting me. It's Peinteingu. Let's fucking go. Yup. I have on my royal rag. And I place it upon my divine knee. Where are my bitches? Let's get them wet. We have a Yeti to paint. A pink Yeti. Well, very, very dark Yeti. That's a dark pink. Shapiro's waifu. Rook Forks. Ben wants Big Bear to host the debate. Okay? He just can't say it to his hunterers. That's very true. The midget would not survive admitting that he wants the Big Bear to do the debate. Domo arigato, Shapiro's waifu, for your Peinteingu patronage. You'll bring yourself some honor. Koberu, welcome to Peinteingu. We have returned to Riberia. Corbear fucked up, and we are back in Africa. We have forgiven her. She is, after our only female. A ding of the dong for clarity. Cleanse your spirit and your chi. Oh. And witness me paint a Yeti. First, I must make the pinker. So, some white, and some redder. Where's my bitch? Where'd I put my bitch? Bitch! Where'd I put my bitch? For those of you wondering, the fat bitch is still behind the table. I have not seen it fit to retrieve her fat ass. So she remains tabled. Oh, Corbero Sosiri! It's the sheep emoji just made that so much better. A trinity of ding-dongs. Indeed, I know it's a gong, but it does not go gong, it goes ding. Therefore, I call it my tiny dong. Witness! Tibicus Crous. Something. Tibicus? Bicus? Tibicus? Fuckus! Tibicus fucking Crous. Keeper of the dong. He defends my tiny dong from foreign invaders with his pecking and his talons. He may be tiny, but he is fierce. And Mini Beru, purveyor of the Mapu. I haven't decided what nationality Mini Beru is yet, I think. I'm thinking Russian. I'm thinking Mini Beru should be Russian. Or perhaps Taiwanese. I'm not sure. Titus Beacus Crous, thank you. Thank you. I have a teensy bit of insomnia-induced amnesia. He is a tiny pecker. Behold! Titus Beacus Crous, defender of the dong. The tiniest of peckers, but the mightiest of peckers. His peck may be tiny, but it is mighty. Just like the ding may be tiny, but its dong is mighty. If you've never seen the film The Mighty, it's about some crippled kid who makes friends with I think is he the boy next door or something? I don't know. It's Meatloaf plays his father. It's actually a great film, really heartwarming, from what I remember anyway. Used to watch this as a kid. It's like the big dumb guy and the crippled genius kind of thing. Great movie. Pink! I must make it a pink. I could get some fluorescent pink, but I will not. I will make it a pink. Ooh, maybe paint the eclipse. I don't think I could put it in this and make it look cool. I have the sun up on the left. What do you want me to do? Just blot it out? Oh shit. I hope that wasn't really loud. Peinteingu. Peinteingu. I need my fur. My fur bitch. My furry bitch. Goo 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 goo. Hoo goo. Some red. Peinteingu. Peinteingu. Painting me. Painting you. Peinteingu. Painting you. Painting me. It's Peinteingu. Peinteingu. Painting you. Painting me. It's Peinteingu. Paint, paint, paint. Paint, paint, paint. Goo, goo, goo. Goo, goo, goo. Yeah. Witness the gloriousness and froppiness of my top knottu as I make it a pinker. Some white and some redder. Peinteingu. Ding that dong! Goo goo goo! Paint, paint, paint! Ah! More white! Constantly in need of more white. Like Europe. Bow, bow. I'm gonna make posters and start putting them up around the place. Europe needs more whites. Start fucking. Paint, paint. It's a Japanese demigod telling Europeans is like, you must do more fucking. Goo 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 goo. Right, I have it a pink. I have not yet decided what weapons he will wield. The utility belt. That's a fucking hard one to say. Utility belt? Utility belt! Utility belt? Stabberoo! Stabberoo-san! Must have been on this bus. I am crinning for someone has made brown on the floor. Oh, God. Oh. Ugh. Public crapping is unacceptable. Yet, gurs will do it. Pinko Pinko! Howdy, menfolk. Greetings to you. Welcome to Peinteingu. Fear not, to you are not the only female in the chatu. Korberu! Fucker up of the Mapu is also female. On occasion, we are visited by a foreign bitch who goes by the name of Shreepy Hausu. I say bitch not in a derogatory sense, but in reference to the male version or the female version of dogs. If my brushes can be bitches, then so can you. Yes! Yes! Crap for Peinteingu! Yes! Many crappings for Peinteingu! Yes! The crowd loves crapping for Defenderu while he Peinteingus. Indeed. Indeed. You pathetic mortars! I mean, beautiful, pathetic mortars! Love crapping for Peinteingu. This brings me much joy. I do love entertaining you pathetic you beautiful pathetic mortars. I need more shamisen in my life. I love it. How dare you! How dare you not begin at the beginning? Oh, how dare you? You have a much honor, Desmond, cleaning that which others are unwilling to do.
I've always had mad respect for like bin men and like guys who do like sewage shit and like sewage shit. But like I've always had mad respect for people like that. Like there was a small part of me that was tempted to try and get into those businesses. A while back I was like, fuck it, well I just get into plumbing.
Pete! I would make a good plumber. Pete! 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 Sip! Yeti! I'm not sipping Yeti. I'm sipping agua. I'm painting a Yeti. I'm not sipping Yetis. Do that in the weekends. Paint. Yeti. Paint. Peinteingu, go. Peinteingu, go. Das war ein guten Mann. Ja. Tastes like apples. Tja. Hey. Peinteingu, go. I'll put the leg in front. Tail can go behind the leg and then back out. Look at him in all his glory. A Yeti! I haven't even finished him and he looks glorious! Paint. I'm going to strip a bit more grey in the in-between bits and then switch to purple. Bit of white. Bit of black. Make the grey. Bit more black. Ah, beautiful. Paint. Paint. Okay, I kind of want him to be like holding something, so I'm gonna do a basic hand structure here. Fist, basic clasped, like closed fist. Paint. Do more grey in here with his face. His visage. His visage.
Painting. Goo goo.
Paint. Yeti.
Mad respect, Desmondu. A little over 2 acres, like, I'm back! He's like, he never announces that he's leaving, but he always announces that he's back. I love that, like, nobody knows you were gone anywhere, and then he just comes back and he's like, I have returned.
A Yeti is bornu, indeed.
Paintingu, goo goo, goo goo. Paintingu, goo goo, goo goo. Okie dokie. Put us a purple on this bitch. I think this one's just gonna be like yeah, I'll just put him claw out. I might even like totally change that arm actually, I don't know. Might give him like some sort of prosthetic attachment of some sorts. Make him, I mean, he's getting a utility belt, I may as well make him a fucking shinobi. Why the fuck not, like? Do you imagine how dangerous a ninja Yeti would be? Like, it's like, I need to start my own fucking like Cartoon Network or some shit. Like, and just have all these different fucking things. We have the Tactical Turtle Show. We have the Xenoboon Hour. Like, I want to create all these creatures that are like. Remember when you were watching cartoons back in the day and you'd see some kind of monster and you were just like, oh my god, though, like, what the fuck is that thing? Like, just these mental looking creatures, like, you know, and that are actually quite often based on like real life creatures. Like the amount of times I've seen amazing creatures, and then you look at them a bit more and you're like, oh, like you essentially just took like a wolf and a lizard and like melded them together. Like, you know, you took aspects of the two creatures and put them in one or whatever. Like, you know, really fun to do when you're designing characters and shit. Like, is to just like totally fuck around with known stuff. Which is essentially all we do as artists, you know? We take the realm that we see and we either... well, I do that from time to time, don't know about other people. But we take it and we replicate it, or we mimic it. Or creatively manipulate it. Sip. Right. Yes, a bit of purple on this fucker would go very nicely. Gonna give him a bushy tail. Give him a right out bush. Big fucking bushmaster tail. Gave the tip of his tail fucking Super Saiyan hair. I suppose he actually does have quite the Dragon Ball look to his head anyway, as it is. Like, remember the first time you seen Yu-Gi-Oh's hair? You're like, what the fuck? Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like totally normal looking like anime character for the most part, but the dude's hair is like off the chain. It was one of those anime hairstyles where you're like, how do you sleep with that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what does that look like when it gets wet? Like, do you imagine Yu-Gi-Oh after he gets out of a shower? Just like, fuck. Oh, God. If you don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, we can't be friends. Ninjetti, much a danger. Ninjetti. I like Dyson. I've always thought very highly of Dyson. Dyson seems like a good man. Fuck Dyson. Paint. My friend is hella. I like replacing, instead of replacing L's with R's, replacing R's with L's is another level. My friend is a hiller for the celestial show this afternoon. Since I have picked a stupid library, I will accept suggestions of where to go today. Gentlemen only, pretty please. Paint. Like, I will accept suggestions of where to go today. Like, do you know what I mean? In brackets, Central Maine only. It's like, hike it to the other fucking coast, bitch. Like, we in North Dakota have 0 viewing due to a lingering low pressure spinning over MN. Oh, is it today? Is it? Today's the 8th. Is that what it is? The eclipse is today. Ooh. The eclipse is coming. Like, you know. Oh, man. That shit makes me laugh. Like, I want to watch Apocalypto now. I'm gonna have to get, like, a fucking thin loofah and, like, fucking lather it in honey and, like, fucking just, like, oh, like, deep throat the fucking thing. Because I smoke and I haven't been, like, what would be the term? I haven't been recovering my vocal cords from doing the Jabu voicer Monday to Friday for 2 hours a day. I've actually underestimated the effect it has on me. Like, I'm gonna start having to be like, I'm gonna need to, like, do vocal recovery, like, a little bit anyway, like massage a load of fucking oil into my throat or some shit, like, or learn how to do it with my belly or some shit, like, you know, like a proper vocalist. Oh, Japo Spiku begins in the abdomen. Just got first 2 seasons of One Punch Man. Had no idea how brutally graphic it was. I love the first season of One Punch Man. I think for season 1 of One Punch Man is one of the fucking best things I've ever fucking witnessed. It's fucking epic. It's hilarious. It's all sorts of goodness. The second season, it's kind of meh. It kind of felt like one of those things where it's like, how do you follow? Like, how do you follow that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you fucking crushed it so hard with season 1. How do you follow up, like, after that? Like, you know, that felt like what the problem was anyway. The 4 seasons, fucking unreal. It's so good. Like, from an artistic perspective, from a narrative perspective, from like a comedic, like everything, like every point they hit. It's fucking awesome. That is not purple. No. That's not purple. Like it is, but it isn't. It's not that type of purple I want. I want a vibrant violet. I want a violet color. Paint. Squirt. Paint. Squirt. Paint. Purr. Peinteingu goo. Paint. Peinteingu goo. Many rares. Rare after rare of color. I love it. Peinteingu goo. Peinteingu goo. It's a normal, predictable cycle of the eternal sky clock. I know, like when I look at that shit, I'm just like what came to my mind there a few minutes ago was like how, like, it's just so funny to me that it's probably just like, you know, like throughout the ages people have like worshipped it and like seen it as a sign of this, that, or the rest or whatever, and like, you know, and the whole time God's sitting there just like shaking his head, just being like, it's just telling you when to do the thing. Like, please stop killing each other. Like, it's like, I always think it's really funny to see like God watching us from the perspective of it, like, you know, more comedic, like less serious thing, where it's like, you know, he's just like, lads, like, come on, I mean, fuck's sake. like I love that story about your man. There's like a flood and loads of people show up, boats, helicopters, the lot, and they're like, get on, dude, get on, like, come on, the water's rising, Rayman style, you gotta leave this bitch, like, you know. Fucking, he's like, nah, I'm good, God's got my ass. Paint. He's like, I'm good, homie. And he turns down a bow. Paint. A helicopter. Paint. And like God knows what else. Paint. And then he dies and goes to heaven. And God's like, or he's like, God, why didn't you come? Like, I had faith in you. Why didn't you paint? Like, you know. God, why didn't you paint? I died. Paint. And God's like, you fucking idiot. Like, I fucking sent you a bow. I sent you a fucking, like, helicopter. I sent you all this fucking shit and you didn't take any of it. Like, it's your own fucking fault, you spa, you know? That's a direct quote, you know, from God right there. Paint. Paint. The reason why I love that one so much is like pretty much the same reason why I love that Chinese parable. about your man who's like just that farmer. It's like, oh, your horse has gone missing, and he, how? That's so horrible. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And the horse comes back. And they're like, oh my god, your horse came back. That's so great. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And just like loads, just like a few things like that throughout the story, where he's just constantly like, he's not claiming things to be bad or good. He's just accepting reality, while everybody else makes affirmations and claims as to whether something is good or not, or a sign of this or a sign of that or whatever. He's just being like, yeah, maybe, we'll see what happens, you know. And that's like, that's how I am. I think that annoys the females sometimes, because like females, like, they're males to have plans, but I'm so in flow most of the time anyway, that I'm just like, oh yeah, we'll just, you know, go with the flow, see what happens. You know, she's like, yeah, but like, what's the plan? And I'm like, there is no plan. If we die, we die.
Yeti.
Yeah. Check out the pic I shared in Telegram, River. Tesra Farrier with moronic migration in Vermont. Heredity abounds. I seen the image. I couldn't really make out what was going on. Like, it's just a load of Tesla cars, like fucking that they can't charge. There's no charging ports, and they're all like parked up. That shit's hilarious. Like, just fucking, what a bunch of gobshites. Like, oh, I'm gonna fucking buy a battery-powered car. Fucking hell, like. One Punch Man is so funny. It's hilarious. One Punch Man is one of the most fucking hilarious things I've ever witnessed. Like, there's this scene in one of the episodes where there's this gorilla who's like got armor or some shit. He's like an armored gorilla with like fucking like cybernetic attacks and like a blaster or some shit. I can't remember. He's like a half robot, half gorilla, but he's like huge. He's this gigantic, like 20-foot tall gorilla with like robot parts, and he's like really intimidating and imposing. And the sounds are like this, and has a really deep booming voice. And then something happens, and then he's immediately like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." Like, oh, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Like, goes really high pitch, and he's like begging for his life, and completely changes his demeanor. And the way it's flipped, like, it's just fucking so fucking funny. Like, I remember the first time I watched it. It was like 1 second he's like, "Oh, will die, I will kill you, I am so fucking strong and powerful." And then like 2 seconds later, like trembling with terror, like, it was so fucking funny, like. And then just the character of One Punch Man is brilliant. Like, he basically, like, the way he looks and all, like, he's just like fucking egg with eyes and a mouth, like, you know, he's absolutely hilarious. Like, the art direction, how the art is executed, and like how the animations are done, just the general art direction in One Punch Man, some of the best I've ever seen. Because some shit's like really, really quick, and then some shit's really slow, and like the way they do it, when you're looking at it and how it's drawn and how they show stuff, how something, you know, how they like communicate to your eyes the sense of like power and weight and speed, and like just the way they do things is brilliant. Like, you know, the fucking when certain characters like fire a laser cannon, or like charge up and use like boosters to jump really high in the sky or take off flying or something, like, you know, it's like, it's really well done. Like what it reminds me of is like a moment where the Man of Steel movie, I remember the first time I watched the Man of Steel movie, Christopher Nolan's Superman movie. There's one of the first scenes where he like starts flying, and like you see all the stuff like kind of levitating near him and shit like that, and then he just like takes off, and then that is like really cool looking. But like while he's going, he gets to like another stage where like it's like afterburners kick in, and he like takes off again, and there's like this sonic boom and the clouds move and all like, and I was just like, you know, they couldn't do that really before in the cartoons, or at least they didn't think of doing it like that. Like, but in the movie, I was like, oh man, that's like that. It looks so real, you know, but not real at the same time. Like that, those are my favorite special effects, or like effects to put in stuff. Is like make it look realistic, kind of, you know, because the more kind of grounded in reality paint it is, the more epic and like incredible things can be. Because if you ground it in reality a bit, and you give references to like, you know, okay, this character's this strong, and he can do this, and bend steel like this, and smash rock like this, and all, like, and you like establish how powerful something is, or how strong something is, or how fast it is, whatever. Paint. And then in another scene, you can use that baseline of another thing you've already like established to be a certain way. You can use that as a baseline to be like, okay, well, that's like he's this powerful. So now that I'm showing you this, you can now see the drastic disparity in power between these two characters. I know the way I'm describing it is probably like convoluted as fuck, but like it's basically like if you see a guy take on an opponent, you know, twice his size, and like throw him around like a ragdoll, right? You now know that the guy who won that fight is X powerful, right? So when you introduce a character that throws the first character around like a fucking ragdoll, and like obliterates him, you're now like, oh, that guy's like this high on the ladder, like, you know. And they do that in stuff like Dragon Ball, or like fucking you know, One Punch Man, or like they do a big style in One Punch Man, like where they're like this guy's this powerful. It's actually a big theme in One Punch Man, where all the heroes have like rankings. There's like S tier, A tier, D tier, C tier, all this shit, like, and it's brilliant because like that's how you design, for in my opinion, for what I've seen and experienced anyway, that's how you design characters. That's how you, like, you know, if you're gonna do Pokemon or anything, like everything, there has to be a baseline, and then there has to be like, you know, representations and like locked in representations of rules of the universe that you're in, you know. Like Pikachu actually kind of fucking goes against what I'm saying, because multiple times throughout Pokemon, Pikachu gets his ass handed to him, but then comes back and is like somehow stronger, but doesn't evolve. Like, do you know what I mean? It's weird. Like, Pikachu is like a rule breaker in that sense. That little yellow ball of lightning cunt, the little fucking static squirrel nigga, is kind of like OP. He's kind of like, he's overpowered in the sense that like he comes across things that legitimately are more powerful than him, but then defeats them anyway, because he's, you know, got the X factor, you know, like, because Ash really believes in him. Fucking like, but there's other like IPs, and there's other stories, and fucking I got paint in my eye. What the fuck? Or is it an eyelash? I don't know. Brast, you monkey king! He has blinded me. There's great examples of that though in like One Punch Man and some other fucking, like, even stuff like Samurai Jack and stuff, where like you see a character and you're like, oh, okay, so he's like this, and then another character gives you, like, it lends perspective, you know, of like, they even do it in Star Trek sometimes with like with races and shit. It's like they'll show you a battle between like a Klingon warbird and a fucking, I don't know, like a Vulcan something or other, and they'll throw down and like the fucking Klingon warbird like wrecks 3 of them or something really handily or whatever, takes minimal damage. But then like a Borg sphere shows up and like 10 Klingon warbirds can't take it on. Pate. Like, do you see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm sure you do. I mean, like, fucking, I hope I'm explaining it well. Pate. But I love seeing that stuff. It's the type of thing that I really want to employ in the tactical turtles that I'm working on at the moment, where I'm like trying to establish the rules of the realm. Pate. Speaking of which, where is he? There he is. I have finished the Commando Turtle. This is the final rever. This is the final evolution of the Commando Turtle. Complete with silenced telescopic pistol and communication device. He is an expert in forward reconnaissance and reinforcement management. Pate. So this is the first of 6 turtles that I'm going to be doing for the Tactical Turtle t-shirt that's coming out soon. And speaking of t-shirts, as far as I know, you can click the link in the description. I hope it's still there. But I have Peinteingu t-shirts out now. You can find the link to the Peinteingu t-shirt in many places. But I'll try and make sure it's on YouTube somewhere for anyone watching the stream. Totally true to Ikaru. It's half the reason I see plain Earth as the more like Rikery scenario. If it were not literally an hour from my home, I wouldn't probably go anywhere. We'll post pictures later. Awesome. Yeah, I want to see loads of photos. Because I don't know if we can see it from here. I haven't a clue about that shit. Like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, it's cool and all, you know. Same as Corbear there. Like, if we can see it from here and shit, I'll check it out. But, like, I don't really care. Sun goes up, sun goes down. What of it? All these dum-dums driving up to seeing Eclipse and not taking into consideration just how rural and gas dependent the place is makes me laugh heartily. That is real funny. You have all these fucking city heads coming out to the rural areas being like, oh, we're gonna see the eclipse. Boom. Where's your Tesla charger? And there's just a guy, you know, filling the thing with gas, just chewing some tobacco. What charger? What's wrong with your car? Like, paint. You got one of them battery powered cars? Just spits tobacco out like. Well, there's your problem. Like, paint. Gardner was on point concerning 3-body problem. They replaced God with the aliens. So hilarious. I know, it's fucking gas. Like, it's a glaring example of that psychological like lapse that a lot of science believers have, where it's like well, if it's not that, then we're wrong, and we can't be wrong. You know, like, you know what I mean? Paint. Like, you know, like I'm following the science. You know, I believe in the science. Like, belief and science should never be said in the same sentence. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should never be talking about belief in anything when you're talking about science. Because science is not based in belief. Science is based in, like, consequences and, like, results and shit, you know? It's just, it's so funny to me, like. And you have all these fucking retards, like, what I think is really funny is, like, I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm not, like, really intelligent. I'm really creative, but I'm, like, fairly intelligent, you know? But I'm not really intelligent, like. But then I look at like people like that who are like talking about something like science, which is like based in logic, which would make you think that people who base their, their mindset and their life experience, mainly in something that uses logic, one would assume that they had a modicum of intellect. And you fucking see all these science people and the fucking NASA retards and all this shit. It's like, yeah, but the numbers and the data and the fucking graphs and the and the graphics. Like, right now we're looking at Prove 925 flinging through space at fucking, Mach 10. And like sending us data. Like, even when they'll turn around and be like, that thing in a, I fucking went, not that I went mad, but I like went on a bit of a rant when me and the female were watching the 3D Body Problem, and that fucking Asian bitch comes up with the idea of putting all these nuclear explosive devices, all the nuclear bombs out in a line, and then sending the probe out, and then every time the probe hits a nuclear bomb, it gets propelled, and it's using this like fucking radiation sail or whatever. Like, Jesus Christ, what a lot of bullshit, but before they even showed you what that actually meant they were going to do, I was like, how the fuck is that going, like, because, like, I was like, okay, trying to picture it in my mind, right? And it's like, if your plan is to launch hundreds. Their initial plan is to launch like 1,000, but they only launch a few hundred.
Brickfinger, welcome, Peinteingu.
Their initial plan was to throw out 1,000, was fire 1,000 nuclear bombs, right, ahead of this probe, right? Keep that in mind. So the vast distance of space, these guys are going to place nuclear explosive devices. They don't tell you how. You just assume that, like, they fired them off in rockets, 300 fucking rockets or whatever, like, ahead of time, right, for this probe to hit them all sequentially and gradually get faster, right? And I was thinking about this in my head, and I quickly was like, that makes no fucking sense at all. And I'm not that, like, intelligent, like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm picturing it in my mind, and I'm just like, so you're telling me, say the first explosive device, the first of, like, the 300 that they put out there, say the first explosive device they put out there is 10 kilometers outside Earth's alleged gravitational pull, right? So you have Earth, right? And 10 kilometers away from Earth is, like, out in the vastness of space, right, is where they place the first one. Then X distance from that, they're going to place another one. And another one. Another 300 times, okay? The probe they launch is supposed to get to these explosive devices and not just like, the explosive device is supposed to go off and it's supposed to propel the probe, right? The explosion is supposed to propel the probe to tremendous speeds, okay? So not only does this thing have to survive a nuclear explosion intact, okay, it allegedly is going to use this sail that just, like, catches all the nuclear radiation, not the kinetic energy, none of this, like, because it's a vacuum, so, like, that's how they'd be like, oh, well, it's not going to actually, be a massive nuclear explosion because it's the vacuum of space, so it's just going to go, like, a little bit or some shit. I don't, like, none of it makes any fucking sense. None of it makes any consistent physical sense. But the thing I was thinking about in my head, I was like, there's so many problems with that, but here's the biggest ones that came to my mind, right? Before you even get to see the fucking, when they show you the thing, not only do they like do that, but they also tell you that they managed to set it up in such a way there's a hole in the sail, right? That's like 50% larger in diameter than the bombs. So the bombs actually pass through the sail, the center of the sail, right? And then explode, propelling the probe that is attached by cables. No nanofiber cables, you know? And the sail, and it's like really long cables. When I seen how long the cables were, I was like, the tension on that would be like enormous. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the fucking, like what the fuck? There's just so many problems with that idea. Paint. And I was looking at it, I was like these guys are supposed to be like really intelligent. Like they're supposed to be like so intelligent that they can game theory out problems, you know, to things that like nobody else could even get close to and all this shit. And this fucking Asian bitch-tard comes up with the idea that we're gonna place a lot of explosive nukes, not just explosive devices, fucking nukes, right? And yeah, whatever, they probably will fucking, you know, be like, oh well, the force from the kinetic energy from the blast of the nuclear device probably wouldn't be the same as here in our atmosphere because it's in a vacuum. So very quickly all of that kinetic energy would just be displaced, and that's why it needs to be radiation that powers the cell, you know, or the sail or whatever. It's like, yeah, fine, whatever. But like, here's how it went in my mind, right? So probe starts here, Earth is here. You launch probe. Probe is now here. First explosive device is now here, right? And then probe catches up with first explosive device, and then thing goes boom, probe gets propelled to X speed, right? That means that it's going to get to the next bomb quicker. So that the next bomb has to be timed so perfectly and at the perfect distance, right? So that it happens again 300 times in a row. Like bang, 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 bang. But every time it gets like exponentially faster. So it'd be like bang, 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 and like gone, right? And like I turned around to the female and I was just like, you know, like looking vaguely in front of me, and I was just like, you're telling me you're going to be able to go boom, 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 like, you know? And she's like, I don't care what they're trying to fucking, you know? And I was like, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like, this is supposed to be about science and it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then I thought about, like, you know, what Gardner was saying, and it's like, it's a troll and shit, and I was like, yeah, like, it definitely is, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you have any grasp of reality and like I'm just a moderate intellect, you look at that show and you're like, oh my god, they're taking the piss, like they are taking the piss out of like people who believe in science narratives, like, you know, the theory of relativity, the theory of gravity. It's like, it's Ron Seal does exactly what it says on the tin. It seals shit, right? And then you call stuff theories, and you're like, but the theory of relativity is like known to be, you know, a fact and all. But it's like, what do you mean? Say, well, of course, gravity. It's like, yeah, but like, they're called theories. It says it on the Google when you look it up, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? It's like theory of relativity, theory of gravity, you know, like, you know, it's like, it's a theory. like there are known laws, though, you know, like the laws of thermodynamics and the laws of entropy and all this fucking shit, like, and the reason they're called laws is because no matter how many times you do the fucking thing, from experiments and experience, you get the same fucking results. No matter how many things, the variables you change and all this fucking shit, you're like, okay, so no matter what happens, X happens. Fair enough, you know? That appears to be a lot. And even then they come across things and they're like, that kind of doesn't quite follow the rules of like known physics. Like it does and it doesn't. Paint. And it's just like all these people are like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, what are you, a conspiracy theorist? Like, you're just like crazy. You know, like these people are experts. It's like, so what? There's no corruption in science. You know, the same stuff that happens in politics, the same stuff that happens in like medicine, the same stuff that happens in sports, the same stuff that happens in all these things that like that we know we have tangible results for. You know, like we know that if you like fucking down a liter of fucking paint thinner, it's gonna probably kill you or make you violently ill. Paint. You know, but like when you turn around and you're like, like fucking, why can't the Earth be like just level and like in the vastness of, why can't Earth be like a realm that we don't completely understand the properties of, and like why does it have to be a ball flying through an abyss at like unbelievable speeds and we don't feel any of this and all this fucking shit, and the sun has to be millions and millions and millions and millions of miles away and all this fucking shit. It's like, no, it has to be that. Because if it's not that, then I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. Like that's essentially what has happened to like all of these fields of like, you know, all of these fields of knowledge. You know, like even not like fiction, like, do you know what I mean? Even like, do you know, like all of these narratives are just slowly crumbling and shit, and people are losing their fucking minds because it's like my whole life has been built on this lie and all. Like, so you have the ones who like lose their shit and are traumatized, and then you have the ones that like were in it for the money, so they don't care. You know, so they just keep going with the lie and shit. And then you have the ones that like didn't like they knew the whole time that it was bullshit, and the only reason they got in was to have like some kind of authority or power or whatever. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's so fucking crazy. When I was watching the 3 Body Problem, I was just like, I laughed out loud multiple times. Like, you know, I was just like, that is off the wall, like, bullshit. Like when they take that dude's brain and they're like, oh well, they suspended it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like they fucking insta froze it so it won't degrade. Like, do you know what I mean? Does it freezing? I know you can freeze something like instantly, and like, yeah, sure, a lot of like of its properties, paint will like remain as they were when you froze it. And then you thaw it out and all, like, but like the whole like when you freeze something, it's almost just as bad as cooking it or burning it. You're doing like, it's a similar, like, it's an opposite end of the spectrum in an alchemical process. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like instead of getting really, really hot, it's getting really, really cold. So like, even if you do it like in an instant, just like you flash burn something, flash freezing something's also gonna have consequences. Do you know what I mean? Like, the idea that you could remove somebody's brain from their body and maintain their consciousness in the brain and have the brain still work, like, and function, right? Because think about it, even when you have all these like Frankenstein old school things where they like and they like take somebody's brain out, like the stem is still attached, and then they like rig it up to some kind of power source, and then they like sever the connection with the body. But like in the interim, like, do you know what I mean? It's always just like, oh well, we did this, and now like they take such leaps in things, whereas like, I get it, like, you know, most people just accept things at face value, but when it comes to science stuff, Iron Man Baru, welcome to Peinteingu, Dick Photo, welcome to Peinteingu, Raiders Mama? Who's Raiders Mama? Hey everyone, my family is asking for prayers. Last Monday I went into a diabetic coma and they had to do an emergency C-section after 5 weeks. Oh shit. Our daughter Autumn Wind Rogers didn't make it. Please. Oh no. No way. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful news. Well, it must have been a very important soul if the creator wanted it back so quickly. You have my prayers. That is very unfortunate, but it's all part of the plan, isn't it? There's a reason for everything. More than likely don't feel that or know what it is now, but if you have faith and you maintain your faith and it's genuine, then I'm sure God will let you know that there was a reason for that. But you have my prayers. That is horrific news. Painting goo goo. Yeah, I know, science fiction. Yeah, in scientific in Latin translates to know that it is fiction. Interesting. I've never seen it written out like that before. Know that it is fiction. That's interesting. Scientific. That's brilliant. Know that it is fiction. That's the stuff where you look like that's why I bought all of Dylan Sakoshio's books, the Spirit World series 1 to 5, and I made it to 3. I finished the third one. I have started the fourth one, but I haven't read it in ages. I'm not a big reader. I'm just not a big reader. Never have been, probably never will be, like, but I do try to like force myself to read stuff that I get, like, you know, my spidey sense goes off and I'm like, I should know this. You know, like, and I've seen Dylan's stuff and his, like, you know, his appearances on like the Innerverse and stuff like that and all, like, and the language shit, the etymology of language, and I fucking find it so fascinating. Being able to break down words into parts that are like fundamentals. Oh, excuse me. From hundreds or thousands of years ago. You know, some simple shit from like like shit like that, where you take a word like scientific or science or whatever, like, and you go sci, n, say, or whatever. Like, you know, like I do it all the time where I'm like message instead of message. You call it a message. And then like I did it the other day when we were playing me and Demon Hunter Bear were playing fucking Star Wars, and like when you get defeated, like it just comes up defeat on the screen, and I keep going like defiat. We have been defiated. Like, and then like it's just like we kind of do the similar thing with Japu and all, like where you come up, like if you just change one, like believe becomes bereave, which is a word and it means a totally different thing, you know. So it's not like if you swap a letter out, believe, the word believe doesn't work anymore. You can actually swap a letter out and it becomes a totally different word. So it's like language, music, numbers, art, like it's essentially all the same thing. It's just an expression of like frequency and timing and like what would be like, there's just like different filters, you know, like colors are numbers just as much as music is. Like, it's fascinating shit. Like, anyway, enough of that tangent. We return to the Yeti. We return to the Yeti at hand. Yeah, only if God shows me will I believe the earth is moving. Oh, that's hilarious. Like, Yeah, like I fucking I don't believe most shit like you see, to be honest. Like do you know here's one that would probably be really controversial, right? You know that couple that was that was recently allegedly the unfortunate victims of a gang rape, where they held the fella at knife point while 7 men it was in India or something, right? 7 men allegedly raped this woman. Paint. While holding her man at knife point, right? I don't believe them. I don't believe that happened. I don't look at her like, you know, like, for one thing, those scuffs and bruises she has and stuff like that, like, they look real enough, but like they could just be makeup. But the way they've behaved about the whole thing, and like the timing of it, and just like, I'm not saying nobody's ever been, you know, raped by 7 men in a row, right? While their partner's held at knife point. Like, maybe, I don't fucking know. But like, you know when you hear something and you're just like just like the 3 body problem thing, I'm just like, I just can't see it happening in my head. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're actually in love with someone and you're a man, like, fair enough. Like, if you just happen to be like a bit of a bitch or whatever, and you know you can't do anything, and he's got a knife to your throat, fine. Like, you probably, I don't know. But like, I just can't picture that. It's like, and I know it's not exactly a fucking scene anyone wants to picture, but it's like, you're telling me you guys are just like traveling the world and you're in like I think they said they were in like a fairly like normal, it wasn't like it was a rundown tourist spot in India or whatever, like, you know, it was like a fair, like, a lot of people around, nice place or whatever, allegedly. And 7 men just like where were you camping? Like, did they like find you because you're blogging? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, did the 7 of them just go, oh, this fine ass foreign bitch is just like around the corner here and they're on their own, we could totally just like show up and rape her, like, and I just don't see it happening. Like, do you mean, like how does that go down? Like, do you know, like one rape alone, like, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, like, how long did that take? 7 of them? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like running through the actual like the time frame and like the people involved and then their reaction and all, like, and the whole thing just seems like it didn't happen, you know? And like, I haven't looked into it, I haven't done research, I've just taken it at face value. Like, do you know what I mean? This bitch apparently got fucking gang raped. This guy was held, this is her fella, he was held at knife point, and now they're talking about it, and then the stuff they say about it and all, like, and I was just like, you weren't raped, you know? Just really, like, confidently in my mind, I was just like, that didn't happen, you know? And it's the same thing with the fucking, the Baltimore Bridge, when the boat just, like, turns and hits it. I was just like, that doesn't look right. Like, I'm not a fucking demolitions expert, but, like, that kind of fell a bit wrong. And, like, how many boats come in and out of that thing, like, every day and shit? And then you find out that the crew is, like, real diverse and stuff, and you're like, okay, so it could have just been pure stupidity. But even if it was pure stupidity, the bridge wouldn't have acted like that when it got hit. Like, just based on what the bridge looks like, you know. And then the pillar it hits, it's like, yeah, like, it hits a main pillar, but still, it's like, the thing just, like, collapses. And I'm just like, I don't know, that looks very 9/11-y. You know, like, yeah, it was a scam to get eyeballs, allegedly. Yeah, like, I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe it for a fucking second, like. And, like, maybe, like, you know, fucking, I'm not, like, I'm hardly gonna sit here and be like, show me the evidence, you know, of your alleged fucking gang rape. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, nobody has to prove shit. Like, I'm not the arbiter or the judge or any of this shit. Like, but I just have I have a strong spidey sense tingling that bitch wasn't raped by 7 Indians while her fella was fucking held at knife point. Like did the guy holding him at knife point get in on it? Like, you know, did they have to like tag him in? Like, like. Fucking suck deep. It is now your turn to rape the foreign female. Like, you know, okay, well, can you take the knife? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like if you were that guy, if I was that guy, and I'm there, and there's guys raping my woman, like, you would have to kill me. I would be a problem. Like, I would be something you would have to deal with. Like, just putting a knife to my throat isn't gonna might stop me for a few moments, might get in my way, you know, but the second I feel like any kind of opportunistic moment, boom, this, like, have you any idea how effective a headbutt is, like, from the front or back? Like, if the guy is, like, even if he's got you on the ground and he's holding the knife to your throat and he's, like, got you on the ground and shit, the second he breaks eye contact or looks away, like, 6 of his friends are, like, what do? Are they all trying to rape her at the same time? Are they lined up, ready, like, taking their turn? Do the 6 of them have him with a knife while one of them does her? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even then, like, is she not screaming? Are you not roaring? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking help! Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're telling me all that went down and nobody heard some shit? Like, fucking, they all got to have a go before anything happened or anyone found out. Like, it's like, it just sounds like utter bullshit. Like, it sounds like someone who knows nothing about that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like when it's funny, like, I was listening to the Vox this morning talking about, he was telling me, not telling me, he was telling you this story about it was like a guy in school, he's like 13, and how he was talking, all the popular kids were around this, like, fairly unpopular kid randomly one day in the cafeteria or whatever, and he was like, oh, that's a bit odd, how come they're all, like, having a laugh and hanging around with him? That's an unusual sight. And then he went over and seen what the crack was, and, like, basically they're all laughing because he was describing to them his sexual conquests, and this young fella's only 13, and, like, he's not exactly popular, like, you know. And then there's other popular kids there that were, like, definitely at least partially sexually active. So, you know, it's like that scene in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, you know, when he's like, oh, you gotta love boobies, you know, when you touch a bare boobie and it feels like a bag of sand. And they're all like, bag of sand? Like, like, are you a virgin? Like, it's that, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's that, like, that's the frequency I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting, where, like, this bitch is so, like, especially her, because I can almost guarantee you that it was her idea. This bitch is so disconnected from reality. She's got such a fucking disparity between real life and, like, what the shit that goes on in her own head, that she was like, you know, she was like, oh yeah, there were 7 of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you got raped, like, if you got raped by one guy, you're not gonna get on the internet and be like, you know, I was raped. It's like, no female's gonna do that. Do you know, like, within reason, like, you know, obviously there's an exception to every rule, but, like, no fucking female is gonna, after being raped, legitimately raped, right, is gonna be like, do you know what I need to do? I need to get on the internet and I need to tell everyone about the fact that I've just been raped. Like, it's like, okay, well, if you got viciously gang raped by 7 guys while your guy was like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you are 7 dudes who are totally down to rape a woman, right? Do you really think they would have held him at knife point? Why wouldn't they just slit his throat? Why wouldn't they just immediately kill him and not have to worry about him for, like, however long they're going to rape her? Right? As long as they're there, he's an issue. Or at least he should be, anyway, if he calls himself a man. So, like, why would you just be holding him at knife point? He's got to be making noise the whole time. Do you know? So it's like, you just kill him. If you're there to fucking commit gang rape, like, you'd probably be alright killing a dude. Like, I know that might be a mad thing to say. I don't think there's much of a fucking spiritual karmic difference between taking a woman, you know, who doesn't want to be taken, and, like, killing a nigga. Like, you know, it's like, they're both, like, really high level, like, spiritually damaging things, like, you know. So, like, if you got a group of people who are like, you know, yeah, come on, lads, like, fucking, let's go around the corner and, like, see if we can get a bitch, and all seven of us will have a fucking go, like, you know, like, if you're thinking, like, don't get me wrong, I know they're probably fucking, like, the type of men that would engage in that behavior are, like, really low IQ and low impulse control and all that shit. But that's why it makes even more sense that they would just kill him. Because people who are, like, really low impulse control and fucking degenerate and shit like that wouldn't think to be like, okay, one of us has to, like, keep him busy with a knife to his throat while we do the business with the woman. It's like, no, you just kill him, rape her, leave. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying, like, it's the same. I just think about these things and I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. You know, like, and that's as far as I go with them. Like, you know, I don't, like, do my research and all this fucking shit and listen to people's opinions. Like if I do, it's brief. But I just see these things come through the mainstream, and I'm just like that smells funky as fuck. Like, oh, it's just like, I think Owen said that, like, ages ago. I remember when he said it, I was like, that's very fucking true. If you see it all over the mainstream, you know, like, in a day, if it's like fucking everywhere, it's probably it didn't happen, never happened, and it's just a story that's, like, being deliberate, like a narrative that's being deliberately fabricated and pushed for a specific narrative purpose, you know. And like that's so fucked up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's, like, on a certain level, it's almost, like, worse. It's like, if it comes out in a few weeks or months or a year or something, that, like, the two of them lied about the whole thing and all this shit, like, oh my god, I'd fucking hang the two of them. Whew! If I was the Indian government and you had, like, two foreigners that were, like, you know, getting loads of attention because they allegedly got one of them allegedly got raped, but in your country and all this fucking shit, like, man, I'd fucking string them up. You're like, tell lies about my country, you foreign bitch. like, you're on Instagram saying you got raped by all the bitches. Fuck you. You have any idea how many emails I've had to deal with? Like, get him, get her, and fucking hang them. I was initially concerned because I follow a lot of the moto vloggers. Yeah, but, like, dude, it's probably something as, like, simple yet maniacally dark as, like, someone in the tourist industry wants something to, like, it's probably something to do with stocks. Do you know what I mean? It's probably something to do with stocks in, like, motorbike sales or fucking like, tourist spots in India or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, all it is to get everyone's eyes to go whoom for a second. So they're either trying to distract you from something while something else is happening, or they want you to see this, feel a certain way, and then react in a certain way. I.e., tourism goes down in India, in that area, or people stop taking that particular route for some reason. Like, you know, you could have a drug cartel that operates in that area that hates how much attention is brought to that area by vloggers. So they pay these fucking Egypts to fucking fake being raped, and then tourism will go down at least temporarily. Do you know what I mean? Like it can like when you look at shows like Breaking Bad, and then when you look at fucking like certain like narratives that are based on like real life and stuff, like look up fucking I'll just screen share it, right? It's about the 3 body problem, okay? And I'll just screen share it and show you it's because instead of like asking you to write it down or fucking remember, Upper Echelon Games is a guy I follow, and he's also pretty good for some gravy now and again. Where's the 3 body problem? Fucking I should have just gone to Upper Echelon. Doesn't matter. But I found this is crazy. I think I put it in the Peinteingu Telegram. Pretty sure I put it in the Peinteingu Telegram. Hang on a sec. It's fucking wild. Subscriptions. There we go. Just trying to find this fucking thing now, because it's a recent video by a dude that I follow. So where's the fucking subscriptions? Latest. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sometimes the way YouTube is laid out is really annoying to me. And I think it's just because I'm used to using it on my phone. So when I'm using it on a desktop, I'm like, ugh, what is this? Yeah, the insane history of Netflix's three body problem. Okay, I'm gonna fucking screen share for a second. Dune. What's this? Is that fucking Diablo or something? Like, looks kind of cool. Okay. Screen capture. Now I'm sharing my screen. No. Right. So go to this fella, Upper Echelon. The insane history of Netflix's 3 body problem. Check this out. This is fucking crazy. I watched it like over the weekend or so. I can't remember when I watched it. Like, it's fucking off the wall madness. And I'm not gonna fucking spoiler it or whatever. Like, just check it out. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Like, the fact that actually happened in real life over the things that happened over is crazy. It's about, it's about that show, The 3 Body Problem, but it's actually about the guy who wrote the not about the guy who wrote the books. It's about the guy, those books that The 3 Body Problem show is about. I think it is called, the IP is called 3 Body Problem, and then 2 other things. But there's 3 books, and it's a huge IP in China. It's a fucking massive IP in China, and people have been trying to get a hold of the rights to do shows about it for fucking ages. And it's about that, and it's about what happened and stuff, and it's fucking off the wall. Woman math is different from real math. Yeah, girl math's a fucking bitch, man. Girl math is like, causes all sorts of problems. Look up Eve teasing sometime in India if curious. Eve teasing. It's hard for us angelic whitish people to imagine. But that's the thing, isn't it? Is that like I'm far from fucking like like I don't call myself a Christian for like very legitimate reasons. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm quite Viking. Do you know, like I'm like weird. I am. I'm not anything. Like, I'm like, when it comes to spirituality and faith, I'm like a jack of all trades, master of fuck all. Cause like, the one thing I'm like, okay, truth. Just focus on what is true. you know? And, like, belief is the enemy of knowing. I agree with that. Like, you either know something or you believe it. You know? Like, I know this is fucking blue. I know it's blue. I know what blue is. I'm looking at it. It's fucking blue. You know? And then you can get into the whole... Oh my god, it says 666 on this. And you can get into the whole argument of whether or not this whole thing is a simulation in the first place. Is this real? How do you define real? It's like, it's fucking real, nigga. Shut up and put the fucking brush down. It's fucking real. It's like... I don't get emotionally invested in any of this shit, which is, I suppose, is a massive advantage now, because it's like stuff like that will happen, and I'm just like, I literally don't care if she got raped or if she didn't. What I care about is like, if it is true, like if her claims are true. It's like, if she got raped, that's horrible, fine. If she didn't get raped and she's lying about it, it's like, oh, that's almost even worse. Like, you know, it's like, we live in a world where, we live in a time where literally more than half the population, seemingly enough, is like totally okay with lying through their fucking teeth about mad shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the worst things a female can do, is lie about something like that. You know? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, it does turn out that that didn't happen, and then people get really pissed off because it didn't happen and the two of them lied, and then they fucking get murdered. Do you know what I mean? Like, I won't be like, that's the shit I see happening, where it's like people, the narrative blows up in their face, the lie eventually fucking fails. It turns out that, like, you know, it didn't happen at all, and then the fucking violent reaction, justified violent reaction of like, oh my god, they fucking lied about that, like, you know, and then they fucking and they turn up dead, you know, because someone just fucking does them in. Like, it's mad, the environment we live in. And like, if you like whatever, like, if you think what I've been saying about that story is crazy, watch the thing that I just showed you, the insane history of the 3-body problem by Upper Echelon Gaming. It's like 10-15 minutes long or some shit. And oh my fucking god, the things people will do for the maddest reasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody fucks with me on a personal level, like, yeah, there's a part of me that's like, depending on how they fucked with you, like, there's a part of me that's like, oh my god, I want to fucking smash your face in, you fucking prick, you know. But like, that's really normal. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's people like fucking like what you call it, like what's the term, road rage. Do you know what I mean? Like, road rage is that, like, other people can infuriate you and frustrate you to a point where, like, you do want to, like, fucking get your hands on them. Like, it's like trying to there's like a part of your brain that switches into, like, I am now dealing with, like, you know, a pest. You know, you're now like, in my mind you're comparable to, like, a fucking a bad dog, or like, you know, a fucking rat or something that's after, or raccoon that's after, like, upending my fucking garbage. Like, do you know what I mean? You want to pick the fucker up by the scruff and see you little prick, and, like, throw him off the deck. You know, get back into the wild there where you belong. There's people in life that pull that out of you. You know, they pull that out of you by being so retarded, rude, like, no empathy, no compassion for their fellow man, no sense of honor, no sense of duty, no sense of self. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not self-aware, so they come across incredibly ignorant and rude and all these things just from that alone. Like, do you know what I mean? And then there's, like, people who feel entitled and they're really stupid and all. Like, one of the worst combinations you come across is entitled, stupid women. Entitled, stupid women are, like, so fucking dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, that's the type of bitch that gets a male with low impulse control so fucking angry that he'll kill a bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's certain combinations of personality type in our society now that when you get people in close proximity all the time with all these like worldly issues and all these fucking ideological differences and all this fucking shit, like what ends up happening is you end up with a society where people will shoot each other dead over like you sold them the wrong flavor of Doritos. You know what I mean? Like it can just be that bad. Like, you know, he's like he's so fucking sick of life in so many ways, but he's just getting up and going to work regardless. And all he fucking wants is to sit in his truck and enjoy his can of Coke and his sandwich and his bag of Doritos. And he loves Cool Ranch. And he's having a shit day, you know, like fucking tire blown, boss is being a cunt, the wife's been at him because like of something that he said he'd do months ago, but he hasn't gotten around to it. Like, and then he just this little moment in his day where he can sit in his truck and enjoy a bite to eat and just like have a Coke and a sandwich and a pack of Doritos, like, and it gets ruined because there's a new attendee behind the till that day in the shop and she fucks something up, you know, or he, doesn't have to be she. These days it's probably a he/she. And he like gets the wrong, you know, flavor, not fucking Doritos, and he just snaps, you know, and he just fucking kills somebody. Like, it's like that's the world we live in now, where like literally most people are like threading the needle every day of like, I can't take this anymore, I fucking hate my life, like I hate people are so fucked, like I hate the left, I hate the right, I hate women, I hate it, like there's a lot of hate going around, like, you know what I mean? And like it's totally understandable why people just like snap and start fucking each other up, like Could you imagine if people find out the two of them lied about her getting gang raped? Like, and I genuinely think that's the reality. I genuinely think, like, when I saw that story, I was like, oh, that seems like a lot of bollocks. Same with the Baltimore Bridge thing. You look at it, and you're like, there's something up with that. Like, do you know what I mean? But then it's also like, of course, there's something up with it. You know what I mean? These stories that like really get pushed. It's like, this is happening. This just happened. Look at this. This just happened. Look at this. Feel this way. Feel this way. Feel that way. Feel this way. Like, you know, and you're looking at it going, okay, well, if that's what they're showing us and that's what they're telling us, then what are they not showing us? And what are they not telling us? You know? They're not telling you that you can buy Peinteingu t-shirts. If you click the link in the description, you can now purchase beautiful Peinteingu t-shirts from Printer Bear, my glorious affiliate in business. Where is it? I should have lined it up. I didn't line it up. I just thought of it there in the moment because I said fucking... where is it? Where is it? Where's the Peinteingu? The Peinteingu telegram. If you have not purchased your Peinteingu t-shirt, you have no honor. There we go. I promise. I will get better at streaming. I will get better at streaming. I promise. But for the moment, you'll have to put up with how shit at streaming I am. Where's this thing? There we go.
A glorious day for Peinteingu. But first, an announcement. The first official Peinteingu t-shirts are now available for purchase. Behold, many variations and sizes available. Simply click the link in the caption of this post, and you will be transported to a location where you may make your preferential purchases. If you have any honor, you will support Peinteingu by paying for Peinteingu t-shirts. Be gone now. Click the link. I've had enough of you.
So, if you have not paid for your Peinteingu t-shirt as of yet, you still have plenty of timer. But your revel of honor decreases every moment you do not buy a Peinteingu t-shirt. I am going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. I have much work to do. Turtles to paint, monkeys to make, food to purchase for the female and I to consume later. So, I hope you are satisfied with today's Peinteingu. We have made progress on the Yeti. Tomorrow, I will make progress on the Nazis. And then maybe sometime Wednesday or Thursday, they will crash violently, epically. But until... oh shit. Wrong button. Until then, my glorious, beloved Japanites, be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I will see you same timer, same placer, tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT. Be there, or you have no honor. I love you all. Peace.